Welcome back to My Views and News. Another video for you. This time we'll focus on the regional capital, Bahir Dar. What is happening there? All eyes are set on two fronts, viewers, Bahir Dar and Gondar. Third one is Shiva, North Shore, but the two main fronts are Bahir Dar and Gondar because Bahir Dar is regional capital. Gondar has its significance too. I did a detailed video about Gondar this morning. I showed you on a map what is happening in Gondar, where ENDF is based, where Fano fighters are based. I tried to brief you on a map this morning about Gondar. What is happening in Bahir Dar? Because around more than 24 hours ago, Fano fighters stormed Bahir Dar. So what is the latest? Have they managed to take control of any strategic places in Bahir Dar? Are Fano fighters being pushed out of Bahir Dar? What about the high places which matter a lot in this type of fighting? Who is in control of high? What about airport? What about other key buildings? And any public support for Fano fighters in Bahir Dar? Is ENDF still in Bahir Dar or is it withdrawing? Let's start from yesterday. Fano fighters yesterday entered Bahir Dar from Meravi, reportedly. So they entered, you can say, western part of Bahir Dar. Why? Because it was easy for them to enter Bahir Dar from western side, and secondly, they entered Bahir Dar from Meravi, not from Adit, because purpose was to make the airport non-operational, because Bahir Dar airport is situated to the west of Bahir Dar city, at a distance from the city. That is why Fano fighters entered Bahir Dar from Meravi. Purpose was to capture Kabale 13, Kabale 14 and then advance towards the airport. Because we know that Ethiopian National Defense Force is trapped in Bahir Dar. Only available means of getting reinforcements is by air. If Bahir Dar airport becomes non-operational, if Fano fighters somehow manage to take control of Balazalek Bahir Dar airport, it means that ENDF will not be able to receive any reinforcements. Because all roads leading to Bahir Dar are almost fully under Fano control. Meravi to Bahir Dar, Adat to Bahir Dar, Hamusa to Bahir Dar. There is massive Fano presence along the three roads. And obviously from Lake Tana too, it's difficult to get to Bahir Dar, though travel is possible, but still risky. So only option available for ENDF to survive in Bahir Dar is that it should remain in control of Bahir Dar airport. Fano fighters, when they entered Bahir Dar yesterday, they entered Kabale 14 and 13, and then they tried to move towards Bahir Dar airport. They could not capture Bahir Dar airport. Ethiopian army deployed tanks, artillery pieces, large-scale deployment of Ethiopian National Defense Force around Bahir Dar airport. Fano fighters could not make it to the airport. Whenever they tried to advance to the airport, heavy weapons of Ethiopian National Defense Force stopped Fano fighters. Tanks can be seen freely moving around the airport. Airport is heavily guarded. It means as long as airport is under ENDF control, supplies will keep on arriving. And ENDF will not be defeated in Bahir Dar. How can Fano fighters make airport non-operational? Obviously, either by reaching the airport, storming the airport, or which is not possible, it seems, because airport is heavily guarded. Now, Fano fighters are considering second option. They are trying to take control of high places in Kabale 14, and they want to deploy anti-aircraft guns or man pads on top of these high places. Like there is Dibanka mountain, I think it is in Kabale 14. There is a church there too. Fano fighters are trying to take control of Dibanka, and they're planning to move some Zu-232 anti-aircraft guns. They have a few, I think. They captured a few these anti-aircraft guns a few days ago. From Dambicha, from some other parts of Gojam, they want to move these Zu-232 to Bahir Dar. They might deploy them on top of Dibanka mountain and some other places. Why? Because if there are anti-aircraft guns or if there are man pads. Do Fano fighters have man pads? I don't have any information about that. I could not confirm. But they do have some Zu-232 anti-aircraft guns. If Zu-232 are deployed on top of high places, it means that any flights landing at or flying from Bahir Dar can be targeted. But these anti-aircraft guns can be hit too. Drone strikes can be conducted, air strikes can be conducted on Dibanka mountain, etc. So it's not easy. But that is what Fano fighters plan now, that they should somehow stop the flights. No civilian flights are landing at Bahir Dar airport, but military flights are ongoing reportedly. It means reinforcements, logistics are arriving on Bahir Dar airport for the military fighting in Bahir Dar. Let's see, it's difficult for Fano fighters to make the airport non-operational without storming the airport. So far, Fano fighters could not take control of any big strategic place in Bahir Dar. Airport under ENDF control, main stadium in Bahir Dar under ENDF control, which is being used as a base by Ethiopian National Defence Force, lake and the area towards lake under ENDF control. Cities inside Bahir Dar under ENDF control, but cities, not roads, but roads are blocked in most cases. People are at home. No big public protests so far in Bahir Dar. Fano fighters have taken control of some police stations. It is being claimed by some pro-Fano news outlets and activists. They claim that they are claiming that 4th, 6th and 8th police stations captured by Fano fighters were waiting for verification though. And just a few minutes ago, an activist, an Amhara news outlet claimed that the mayor office in Bahir Dar had come under Fano control. I have no verified information. I personally think that Fano fighters are faced with stiff resistance on Bahir Dar front. Why? Because Bahir Dar is a key front. If Bahir Dar collapses, it means Amhara region, regional government, temporary command posts, state of emergency setup, all have collapsed. Gondar already ENDF trying to take back Gondar. If Bahir Dar falls, it means it would be a big blow to Ethiopian National Defence Force. Fano fighters threw a blitzkrieg trying to capture Bahir Dar, but Bahir Dar is, it seems, it could be a hard nut to crack for Fano fighters. Now, can we say that Fano's offensive on Bahir Dar has failed and Fano fighters might be kicked out of Bahir Dar? Well, If you look at surroundings of Bahir Dar, Fano is in a very strong position. All roads leading to Bahir Dar under Fano control. They have public support too. Though public in Bahir Dar relatively quiet. It's not like Gondar. In Gondar, we saw massive public support for Fano fighters. Fano has public support in Bahir Dar too, but so far since Fano fighters are not in the center of the city, that is why public support is dormant. Once Fano fighters manage to the center of the city, you will see that thousands will come out of their homes, like we saw in Gondar. So far, Fano fighters entered just western outskirts or Kabbalah 13-14 western side of the city. People on their own cannot come out of their homes to protest in central Bahir Dar, because if they do, they will be dealt with by the ENDF troops. That is why they are waiting for Fano fighters to enter the city, central part of the city. If somehow Fano fighters manage to reach the center of Bahir Dar, you will see thousands of people march to support Fano, and that would be a moment which could strike a decisive blow to Ethiopian National Defense Force in Bahir Dar. Or if Fano fighters somehow manage to capture Bahir Dar airport, it means ENDF will be collapsed. ENDF will collapse and no reinforcements, then ENDF troops will start surrendering, people will come out and you'll see Bahir Dar under full Fano control. Let's see. So far, it seems that Bahir Dar is silent largely. Fano fighters facing resistance. Situation overall volatile. I would use the word volatile. I wouldn't say Fano's offensive on Bahir Dar has failed. I wouldn't say ENDF is collapsing. I would say situation is volatile. Ethiopian National Defense Force will not easily surrender on this front. Surrendering in Bahir Dar means that all is over for Ethiopian National Defense Force in Amhara regional capital. Meanwhile, Fano fighters continuing their operations in the neighboring, in surrounding town cities. They stormed a prison in Mota today. Mota is in West Gojum. It is along a main road which connects Bahir Dar with other parts of Gojum. Fano fighters stormed the prison. There were some Fano fighters imprisoned in the prison. The prisoners were they were released. Security guards tried to protect the prison. They could not, and then we saw that the Fano fighters took full control of the prison and prisoners have been released. Obviously, there will be criminal elements too who have been released. Yesterday, we saw an attack on a detention center where prisoners are kept in Gondar. So, this is what we call lawlessness. Those who have been freed from prison in Mota are not just Fano fighters, criminal elements too. Same could happen in other parts of, same is already happening in other parts of Amhara. That is total collapse, breakdown of law and order situation. Announcement of state of emergency could not bring about any change on the ground in the Amhara region. Rather, Fano has stepped up its offensives to take back key places and towns and cities in the Amhara region of Ethiopia. Thanks for watching.